you want me to follow you back, send me a DM and let me know your notification gang. Also, make sure you watch the entire Vine compilation. Niggas, yeah, ain't really ain't you.
Seven, the kidnapping, I sentenced to 11 years, plus 3 years for the gun. Count 8, that having a weapon while under disability, I sentenced you to 36 months. Counts 9 and 10, there are no sentences because the words would count 5. Count 11, the disrupting public service and felony 4th degree, I sentenced you to 12 months. The gun investigations on count 1, 5.
43,
I need you to look and do me a favor, pay attention. You see the world population in line 1. Line 2, you see the births this year. You see the births today, and then you see the death this year. 6 million, 4, you know.
What's going on, guys? Dylan DeJesus here. Thank you for joining us for another video. And today we got a lot to share with you guys.
What's up, family? If this is your first time checking out the show, this is the way we do it. You let me know what city, what state you're coming in from. If you're outside of the U.S., let me know what country you represent. I'll give some shout outs, and then I'm going in. Let me know what city, what state you're coming in from. International audience was on fire the other day. Y'all came in by boatloads. Love it when we get that participation. Yeah, I had something to do, but a couple things came up, and I definitely gotta converse with y'all on these two. One, first and foremost, James Brown, the legendary godfather of soul, James Brown, murder. But death is being investigated as a murder. They are looking into a connection, a possible connection of someone having actually murdered James Brown. And you know, this all came about when this young woman presented some evidence to the DA in Atlanta. So this is going to be very, 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 very interesting, you know, how this plays out. Y'all give me just a few more seconds. I can get into the story. Again, let me know what city, what state you're coming in from. If you're outside of the U.S., let me know what country you represent. If you want to skip the line, you can jump into the super chat. Let's see. So here's the story on James Brown it says that this is according to TMZ. It's saying that James Brown may have been murdered. Claims a woman who knew him and handed a prosecutor a stack of what she believes is possible evidence of foul play. She actually went into the Fulton County DA's office and handed over a whole bin of what she considers to be evidence of text messages and things to that nature. They said that they are going to look at the evidence and they're going to interview the woman and they're going to further interview her rather. And if those claims hold to be true, then they're going to not reopen, but they're going to open an investigation, a full-blown investigation into his death, and which will probably be a large-scale investigation. We're told that this woman's name is Jackie Hollander, and the district attorney who's handling this is Paul Howard. Now, James Brown died back in 2006. We're told that she unsuccessfully tried to present the evidence to the DA back in 2019, but for whatever reason, they didn't take her seriously enough. And so she also reportedly explained how she came into the possession of this bin of evidence. Again, James Brown died on Christmas Day of 2006 in an Atlanta hospital. His death certificate cites a heart attack and fluid in his lungs as the cause of death. This is what's very interesting to me, is that they didn't obviously do an autopsy, right? Because it appears that the doctor or the coroner just took the word of the doctors. Said, okay, he died of a heart attack, case closed. This is James Brown, the godfather of soul. So there was many questions surrounding his death from the jump anyway. During a 2017 interview with CNN, Dr. Marvin Crawford, who signed James Brown's death certificate, said he had always wondered what exactly triggered the heart attack and whether the sudden death was triggered by an overdose, accidental or otherwise. As you know, James Brown had a long history of using drugs. And so when they said that he had died of a heart attack, people just kind of assumed that, well, maybe the drugs finally did what it's supposed to do, and that is disrupt your bodily organs and kill you eventually, and send you to an early death. So they're thinking that, people are thinking like, well, maybe that's happened. Maybe that's what happened. Maybe his heart couldn't take it anymore, and he died. But this woman, Jackie Hollander, is claiming foul play. So, and that is the extent of what the DA is sharing right now with everybody. I personally always felt like it was, I'm always thinking anytime a celebrity dies or whatever, I'm always like looking, and I'm always really suspicious anyway, because a lot of celebrities, especially when you get on James Brown level, they have a lot of power and influence. And so it's not inconceivable that someone would conspire to murder them for whatever reason, whether it be for their riches, perhaps they have some intellectual property that somebody wants to get a hold to, and if they are no longer in the picture, maybe it's easier to obtain that intellectual property. Perhaps they know something that somebody don't want them to know. They have a secret that somebody wants buried. Celebrities are oftentimes privy to a lot of confidential information, sensitive confidential information, being that they can move in different rooms, different political rooms, and in places where people have a lot of power and a lot of decisions are being made. I mean, celebrities have a lot. They get to have a lot of access. That is one of the perks of being a celebrity. You get access, and so who knows? But I am very, very interested to know, how this thing turns out. I think that if the woman brought the evidence and she said that, even if she didn't have evidence, but apparently she thinks she has evidence. But even if she didn't have evidence, if somebody comes and says, I think he was murdered, and you should look this way, or look into this, or contact this person, I think that every person's death deserves to be investigated if there's a question, especially if there's a question. I think death alone should have some type of investigation, no matter what. Every single death, no matter what, some type of investigation, no matter what. But if someone comes forward claiming to have evidence of somebody being murdered, then absolutely that person's death should be investigated. I don't think it should just because a person was a drug user that their death should be looked at as less, right? Because some people do that. Oh, he was homeless. Oh, he was a drug addict. Oh, he was a nobody. So nobody cares. No, I think every single person's death should be investigated to some degree. So let me jump over here in the chat to see what y'all talking about. You got the super chat first. Raymond J. What's up, Raymond? Appreciate you. I see Next Level in the building. They always investigate our deaths and find out we're innocent long years after the fact. Okay, Akeem Muhammad. Greetings, brother. What's up? What's up, New York? New York in the building. Dorinda Rosado. Welcome to the club. Y'all welcome our new Willie D Live channel member, Dorinda Rosado. All right, let's see what we got. Sharon says, this is sad. Love, James Brown. R.I.P. Mr. Brown. Still continue listening. Listen, if you listen to Ghetto Boys, you'll hear some James Brown samples in several of our songs, especially the first album that we did together, that me, Brad, and Bill did together. That album, Grip It On That Other Level. And the remake of that album, Ghetto Boys, the Rick Rubin version. You're gonna hear a lot of James Brown influence in our music. Because that dude was on man. And he produced a lot of his own music. I didn't find out that till later. Like, when we had started, paying for those samples. I was like, yeah, James Brown, yeah, he did this, he did this. So he wasn't just a singer, he was a writer. Heather Bryant, welcome to Level 1. Salute, appreciate you. Another member just jumped in. On board, welcome to Willie D Live. Conscious Energy, what? Yep. Now, family, I told y'all before I started the broadcast that there's a couple of major stories going on right now, and I wanted to make sure that I covered these before I do anything else tonight. Number one, I wanted to definitely pay homage to James Brown. As soon as I heard that he had his death was being investigated, I was like, man, I don't know how I'm gonna fit this into my schedule, but I'm going to do a broadcast. I'm going live on this tonight. At some point, I didn't know how I was going to do it, but I'm doing some things around and getting it done. Paying homage to Godfather of Soul, James Brown, for all that he has done, for all that he has contributed to music, society, even society. When you start thinking about his social awareness and he was very, very in tune to what was going on around him, and it reflected in his music. And that ain't easy to do. I'm gonna tell y'all, that is not. It's not easy to make music provocative and sometimes offend. That's not. You are being oppressed. You're basically putting your life in danger because there are people out there that will try to kill you, and the people that's supposed to be protecting you that looks like them will probably sweep it under the rug and pay little or no attention to it. So it takes a certain level of bravery to make that type of music, not just bravery, but it also takes a certain amount of humanity to care enough to make that type of music for the people. Because it's easy to just make music, mindless music, and you're not putting yourself on the line. That's easy to do. And you can have an easy, nice, quiet life and just party and no big deal. You ain't changing nobody's lives or nothing like that. You just, making party music, and that's cool because all genres of music has its place. But for me, I feel like if you got a whole hour to make music, or you got a whole hour of undivided attention from a listener, then I believe it's incumbent upon an artist to say something. Say something. There's so much going on out there. People are having a tough time out there. Everything ain't all fun and games, and it ain't all about laughter all the time. Sometimes you gotta get serious. Everything ain't funny. So sometimes you gotta get serious, and people are going through stuff. You got people that's going through divorces, death, romantic breakups. They have an issue with children. You got people that don't have a roof over their head. People are unemployed or homeless. Trying to figure out what they're going to eat tonight. People going through it, man. So my thing was like, I'm gonna make music. I'm gonna make music that resonates with people, that people can really relate to, and I can touch somebody. I want to make that kind of music. So I had to figure out a way to do that, and at the same time, make that conscious music, but at the same time, remember that this is entertainment also. So make sure that it's entertaining, but keep the integrity of the song. Always maintain the integrity of the song. That's first and foremost. Getting back to what you guys are saying, James Brown knew the business. He owned his own music. Yes, yep. Yep. Wasn't for James Brown, you wouldn't have a Michael Jackson, you wouldn't have a Prince, you wouldn't have a Rick James. All that's true. You wouldn't have a Willie B. All of that's true.
Can't say that.
Because it's always somebody who came before you, right? I don't know who that was for James Brown, but it's always somebody, and you just basically get inspired, and then you do your best version of that person who inspired you, and then at some point, you grow into your
Good. Yeah, I know. Huh? No. He was ready to work. That's all I know. Jump up. Jump up. With me, you don't jump up. You get big, baby. See, hey, you don't play this. Yeah, hey, don't touch my boat. That's what I told you, can I get a little bit more? Roaster? Oh no, I don't do energy drinks. You don't do energy? Yeah, I'll take one. Yeah, I'll take one. You want a tea flavor or you want a it doesn't matter.